Hello. So for the genogram, I'll pull up my questions. So essentially what I always gather from a genogram is a very basic, bare bones rubric layout of how the individual or the client relates to their family. And I've also seen in-depth versions of genograms where you can add each person's different racial, cultural, gender, sexual orientation, faith or religion, language, education, adding those layers of someone's identity can really help dive into the individual or the client that you're talking to and getting to know them, the way that they were brought up, their beliefs, their values, their understandings of the world, how they connect with the world and the people around them. Even if they don't have a close relationship with the people around them, if they're the people that were there raising them, teaching them about everything, then those people's core identity, values, and belief sets in turn bleed into the individual and how the individual sees the world and perceives the world, perceives themselves. So I think a genogram is a really awesome way to dive into relationships, connectivity, but also just to begin open-ended questions. There's so many questions that you can ask an individual when you see all of that laid out. And even if you're someone who doesn't like to write things down during a session or with the client, or the client doesn't like that, just kind of adding those little questions throughout when they're answering, kind of where, oh yeah, my mom passed away, but my dad remarried, and I never really got along with my now stepmom. Oh, okay. And then that can begin a new question before completing this genogram throughout, just getting little tidbits of information from the client that help you help them get to know themselves and the way that they interact with the world. I brought up a couple different examples of how I think a genogram would benefit somebody or where I think it would benefit somebody. But in general, I feel as though genograms are super beneficial to anyone looking to dive into understanding their support systems, their relationships, their personal identity. Maybe they really don't get along with any of their family, but they haven't necessarily dove into who their family are as people, and why maybe the client thinks the way that they do, as I mentioned before. So I think genograms are very helpful, or a good starting off point or a good reference point for a client working through identity, relationships, connectedness, community, support. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to go over time, but thank you.